Today, we're going to grab a couple pizzas, swing by Blockbuster, check out the new releases, have one heck of a night. Up next. What is up, everybody? This is Everything Board Games, and I'm your host for today, Paul, the Techno Funk Boy. We're going to be taking a look at a journaling game today. This is coming from Michael Putlack, and it is called Be Kind, Rewind. As I mentioned, it's a journaling game. It is a $1 download, as well as having a physical copy that you can order as well. And it is specifically geared toward nostalgia and memories of the video, the video store, the rental, the Blockbusters, the Hollywood videos, or wherever it was that you went for to rent videos. Now, Michael did send me a copy of this PDF for the purposes of this review. As you can probably guess, since we are talking about memories of renting videos, this is very much targeted to a certain audience. But it is an audience that is exactly like me, who does feel a lot of nostalgia about this aspect of the culture of growing up, the culture of just the way our week, the ebbs and flows of our weeks used to go, that we have lost. You know, it's easier. It's definitely easier to get whatever movie that you would like nowadays, but that physical activity of actually searching through the shelves of movies, looking at the covers, reading the back, seeing what grabs you, going in without any idea of what you might be looking for, just looking to see what grabbed you, and then coming away with something that you weren't at all expecting. This used to be something that was pretty much a weekly occurrence for a lot of us. I grew up in the time where it started off the corner of the grocery stores where you rented videos, which is kind of trippy when you think about it. You're picking up your meat and your bread and your milk, and then also a copy of Die Hard. But going to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, these were very familiar things for me, for the people that I grew up with. So right off the bat, we are obviously targeting a very specific demographic here. But if you're watching this so far and you're instantly thinking, "Oh yeah, I used to do that," then this is for you. So to play the game is very simple. It's the book itself is a list of prompts. You're going to need a deck of cards. And draw a card, and that's going to be your topic for what you are going to write about. And the questions here are really varied and good, and they're not just the straightforward, it's like, okay, tell me about when you went to the video. It's about certain specific things that you might have been looking for, specific things about the video stores themselves that were very common shared experiences by nearly an entire generation. Once you have a topic, then you're going to, as the name implies, journal it. As I mentioned before, this is exactly up my alley. This was like, I can't tell you how many hours I have spent looking through videos at the Blockbuster and at the Hollywood Video a little bit later, and reading through some of these questions, and I threw them around with some of my friends, and just the memories that were sparked by them that weren't on the top of my head, but the question dug deep enough that really sparked something and got me excited to tell the story again. And in doing so, reminded me a lot of the details, and just filled out that memory for me. It was a very cool experience to just kind of relive those moments for a while. Now, but I'm going to pitch this though Slightly different though, because the most fun I had with this was not journaling it, but actually telling these stories to my friends. And so I'm going to kind of pitch this. I think this works even better as a party game, where especially if you have a lot of people, of the same age, of the same basic background that had a kind of a root of that, that cultural experience. Um, this is going to be more fun, even more fun that way. Um, the one thing about journaling it is, just to kind of warn you ahead of time, is that, you know, some of these questions sent me on like uh long long descriptions. And that this isn't necessarily a complaint. Like I had a lot of fun thinking about the particulars of certain times, of certain events, and some of them were just straight up, no, that wasn't something that I did. And so you're going to have a mix here. Some of these are going to, are going to hit that nostalgic sweet spot for you, and some of them are events that, like, situations that might have been common amongst our generation, but not necessarily one that you experienced firsthand. Um, that being said, it was very, very easy that if I didn't want to, or if I didn't have much of an answer to that one, to draw another card and keep going that way. Just to give you an example of the type of things things that are in the book, this is one that jumped out at me. Is that one of the questions is, did you ever rent or borrow a tape and use two VCRs to make a copy of it? We absolutely did have two VCRs hooked up together at our house, and this was the expressed purpose of it, is to make copies of one VHS to another. The Now, the thing that happened to us that you're absolutely not supposed to do. I was trying to remember the specific movie that this happened with, but uh and by the way, the tapes you got from the store were longer. Like, you could, if you did the lowest quality of video, then you could get 6 hours on there, and so you'd always put two movies on, and sometimes the pairings of the movies that you ended up with, just because you would, the next time you used it, you just used the back half, I mean the second half of the tape. Sometimes the pairings of the films were just ridiculous. But there was one time in particular, I cannot remember specifically the movie, that my dad accidentally returned the copy that he made instead of the original tape, and he had to go back to Blockbuster and ask for it back and trade it out. And they didn't bat an eye. Like, everybody there, this is a thing, right? This is everybody knows what's going on there, and they didn't seem to care. But he he was mighty nervous going into the store. um so this is the type, I picked that one out in particular because, this is kind of the heart of these questions, is not going for the generic memory of what the store in general was like, but targeting specific things that might have happened, specific things you were looking for. There are definitely questions about how the store was laid out, where you might be looking for things, but a lot of it is very specific questions that is going to turn your mind toward something that you probably wouldn't have written on your own, which is kind of the point of a journaling game, is to prompt you in directions that, that you wouldn't have immediately thought about right off the bat. So if this is a nostalgic time in your life, going to the video store and all that, then this is definitely something for you. As I mentioned before, links are in are in the description. The download is $1, and far cheaper than the Blockbuster Blockbuster rentals were. But check that out. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun doing this, is particularly asking these same questions to my wife and to my friends. It was a blast. As always, everythingboardgames.com is where you can find the latest reviews, Kickstarter spotlights, all sorts of news. Check it out. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and the bell icon. You know the drill. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Until then, have a good one.